Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today's podcast is about a very important subject, something that we do every single day, usually several times a day, unless you're someone like me who eats once a day. So we're talking about the process of eating, of having meals, and the best eating practices for healthy digestion, for metabolic health, for maintenance of healthy weight, for great sleep, for great energy throughout the day. So we are talking about the best practices that I've accumulated through my professional experiences, also through all my studying and reading. So these are the practices that are on cutting edge of nutrition and eating science. So most people who do their own research, who do a lot of work on improving their habits, a lot of people who are into nutrition, into healthy eating, they do practice all of them, most of them. It's not somewhere in the books. You're not gonna probably find it in the most clickable articles, but a lot of these practices are pretty popular and most of the people are familiar with them. But also probably you're gonna find some new bits of information, of useful information that you can start applying the next meal or even before that. And again, to improve your digestion, to improve your gut health, to improve the absorption of nutrients from your food, because guys, it's not what you eat matters, it's what you get from your food and how you metabolize it that matters. So to improve your brain health, your metabolic health, your healthy weight maintenance, your energy production and energy levels throughout the day, we're talking about all of this. And in this specific example, I'm talking more about people and about practices for people who are really interested in the best eating practices, not just not eating, junk, but actually the best eating practices that we've as society discovered and researched. So, number one, that starts before your meals. So every single day you gotta fast. You can call it intermittent fasting, but it's just prolonging a little bit your overnight fast when you sleep and you don't eat. So 14-hour fast daily. At the very minimum for maintenance, 12-hour eating window, but that is a very minimum. All of the top people in circadian biology, in gut health, they do recommend 14-hour fast being like a new gold standard for someone who really wants to maximize their digestive power, their gut health. So 14-hour daily fast, and that fast doesn't include any sorts of fatty coffee or any sorts of nutrition, smoothies, green juices, anything but water, tea, unsweetened tea, and unsweetened black coffee. Even about black coffee, there is still debate going on because your liver has to do some work to process that coffee. So, but for now, I'm keeping my coffee. Even though usually I do 14-hour fast already before my first cup of coffee. But anyway, a 14-hour fast daily. And if you need to build up to that, that's totally fine. It doesn't mean that you're not going to improve. So maybe if you're someone who eats as soon as they wake up and stops eating right before bed, having maybe like 8 hours without any food, then build up to 10, and then maybe a little bit later in a few days or weeks to 12, and to 10, to 12, to 14, and you can build it up. It's like in a gym, you don't start right away lifting the heaviest weight or heavy weight for you. You start building it up little by little. Today you work with 5 kilogram dumbbells, tomorrow you work, or in a week, a couple of weeks, with 6, then 7, and that's how you build it up, how you make progress in any area of life and in your nutrition habits too. So it's okay if you can't do more than 8 hours. Build up to 10 and start from there. But ideally 14 hours of daily fast. Then number 2, fewer meals in general. So even in that eating window is not for you to eat mindlessly all the time. No, have 2, 3, maybe even 4 meals if you are at the very beginning of your fasting and nutrition journey. I personally build it up right now to a point where I feel really comfortable with having 1 meal a day. It's got to be really precise and it's got to be well designed to satisfy my nutrition needs. But yeah, most of the days, unless I have a lot of work, a lot of workouts, I do 1 meal a day. But again, you can start with 4 meals. You can start with 5 meals if you are eating all the time and snacking like 10 times a day. And any sort of calories, of source of nutrition, any a sip of coffee with heavy cream, it's considered to be a snack. So have fewer eating occasions. Have the amount of certain number of meals that you designate each and every day. Have some time dedicated to only eating and do that every day. So if you decide to have 4 meals, then have 4 meals. If it's 3 meals, then 3 meals. Have a goal where you want to be at the end and then build it up to that gradually, and also allow your body to get used to your new eating schedule if you decide to make a lot of changes. But ideally, for most people, probably 2 meals is more than enough if you know how to design your meals to get the nutrition you and your body need for life. So fewer meals, have some discipline around your meals, mindfulness. Don't just graze mindlessly. That's not the best for your digestion and for your health, your metabolic health in general, and for your longevity, also for your energy levels. And plus, like, if you're eating all the time, when do you do the work? Next item, eating early is always better. In most cases, it is much, much better for your digestion. It is much better for your energy levels. It is much better for your sleep. But at the very least, you gotta find something that works for you for all of the aspects of your health to the maximum. What do I mean by that? So for example, I know that my digestion works the best somewhere around 2-3 p.m. But I have 1 meal a day, and I really do not feel comfortable not eating from, let's say, 4 p.m. when I finish my meals to next day 3 p.m. Like, in the evening, usually my hunger goes up, and it actually goes up for a lot of people. So I prefer, because of that, even though my digestion works the best in the middle of the day, I prefer to eat later, like maybe 5 or 6 p.m. because I hit that point in my day when I feel the most hunger, and I eat then. And that also leaves me about 2 hours before bed, 2-3 hours before bed. And that is ideal for great digestion and great sleep. And that's where, when I also have the best sleep, when I have my meal somewhere around 6 p.m. Otherwise, if I have my meal too early, I literally cannot really sleep well because my hunger hormones wake me up, or I have too much cortisol. So I experimented a lot with my eating habits, and I know that about myself. I have that kind of self-awareness, and you gotta experiment too to figure out what works best for you. But for example, it is proven that people lose more weight when they eat early. It is proven that people have better energy levels, better sleep. But again, early is a very relative item, so find what works for you, but at the very least have at least 2 hours before sleep when you don't have anything to eat, because you need some time to allow your digestive system to digest your last meal, to have good quality sleep. And if weight loss is a goal for you, then you might prolong that period of not eating before bed to 3 to 4 hours. That's also going to be not that bad for your sleep for most people, from what I found. And that also will allow you to burn more of your fat. So eating early is another amazing practice, but again, at least 2 hours before bed. Allow your body to digest your food before going to bed. Otherwise, you won't be able to fall asleep right away, and the quality of your sleep will be compromised. The heavier you meal, the worse your sleep gonna be. Next practice. This you do right before your meals. It's breathing, and probably 3 deep breaths is enough. And it's not some woo-woo stuff that I don't know. What it does, when you breathe deeply in your belly, sticking your belly out while you're doing the breathing, and sucking it back in when you breathe out, it allows your body to switch from flight or fight to rest and digest. And your body cannot be in 2 of those states simultaneously. So if you're feeling stressed, rushed, if you just finished work or workout, and you're just feeling like, in that mode of action, and you feel a lot of stress hormones might be going through your system, you just feel that active, that is not an ideal state for your body to digest food. And actually, most of your blood is going to be diverted towards your limbs to prepare your body for that possibility of fighting or fleeing. That's what your body does. Whenever you are stressed, your body prepares you to run and to be able to fight and to handle whatever that stress that you might be having. Like your brain, your body, they don't have that capacity to distinguish between stress that is in your head and actual, stress, actual predator running after you. So whenever you are in a stressed state, your blood is diverted from your digestive system towards your limbs. Your whole metabolism is switched to deliver maximum fuel to your brain and to your body to be ready for action. And again, all of your digestive stuff and also your immune system, they are being shut down for that stressful moment. So before you are able to digest your food properly and divert your blood flow back to your stomach, you need to get into that rest and digest state. And breathing that we can control consciously allows us to do that, allows us to switch ourselves into that rest and digest mode when most of our blood is diverted to our digestive system, our immune system, that actually work together to distinguish between the food that is good for you, some invaders possibly, to assimilate all the nutrients, everything that all the nutrition in your food. So you need your blood flow, you need your digestive system, you need your immune system working at that time. And the way to switch to that rest and digest or parasympathetic state is to simply breathe. Take 3 to 6 breaths, that is what's recommended. Really deep breath. I also recommend to close your eyes for that moment. Breathe in, stick your belly out, breathe out, suck it back in, and breathe in as deeply and as long as it is humanly possible for you. And then breathe out, do that 3 to 6 times, and then start slowly eating your meal. That's how you're going to maximize the nutrition also that you're getting from your meals. And that's how you're also going to prevent the most digestive issues. A lot of times, very often, people have digestive issues like indigestion, gas, or feeling like, they're bloated or something is stuck in their stomach. A lot of times that happens not because people have any real persistent problems with their digestive system, but because they're in that stressed or sympathetic state, and their digestive system is not ready to digest anything, and that's why people would have problems. That's why you might be having problems. And again, the solution is to switch yourself to rest and digest state by breathing slowly, breathing deeply. Closing your eyes also amplifies the effect. So do that, and then start eating. And you gotta start eating slowly, chewing your food, not swelling it right away, not inhaling it like a lot of people do. And the reason behind that, there is an actual reason, a physical reason. When you chew your food, you release more saliva that also has digestive enzymes. So your digestion starts in your mouth, but it also prepares your digestive system down the line, prepares your digestive system to that food that is coming. And you don't have to do a certain amount of chews per bite of food, but you want to make out of whatever it is you're eating that kind of mush or kind of like smoothie consistency in your mouth. Maybe not exactly that liquid, but something like a porridge or a cereal in your mouth out of solid foods before you swallow that. That's how you know that you chewed enough. Because a lot of actually also mechanical digestion happens in your mouth, and a lot of food particles your body will not be able to digest, especially when it comes to some fibers and some fibers also in animal food, so some muscle fibers. So a lot of those things your body will not be able to your stomach will not be able to break down with stomach acid. You actually need to mechanically break it down first for your stomach to be able to digest it, and then your gut to absorb the nutrients. So you need to chew your food to absorb the nutrients. Otherwise, you're going to have digestive problems, and otherwise you're going to be wasting food by not digesting fully that food, not getting all the nutrients. So you need to eat slowly, you need to chew your food, and that also helps your body, helps your gut to send the signal to your brain what kind of nutrients you just got, and it helps with satiety signals being more effective. So it's not like, you inhale your food and then after a while you realize that you ate too much. That doesn't happen if you chew your food properly and you eat slowly enough. So your gut has the time to send the signal to your brain about the nutrition that you got. And so there is much less possibility for you to overeat. A lot of people overeat because they literally inhale their food. And also, like when you eat a lot of processed foods, that also doesn't allow your body, your gut, to give the signal, the effective signal to your brain about the nutrition that you got in time to prevent overeating. So the more processed food is, the less it usually spends, the less time it spends in your mouth and in your stomach, and it goes really fast to your gut. But then when your gut actually gets the signal about the calories and about the nutrients, your brain doesn't have enough time to stop you from eating more before you overconsume all the calories and all the nutrition. So the point is here, choose slowly, eat whole foods. On the point of whole foods, guys, also understand that your digestive system, your stomach specifically, and your gut, you have two kinds of receptors there about satiety. So one kind of receptors tells you how full in volume your stomach is. That's why when you eat whole foods, when you eat stuff with a lot of fiber, especially greens, especially vegetables with a lot of water also, they have a lot of volume with not that many calories. And so when you include a lot of vegetables in your meal with a lot of volume and fiber, it fills up your stomach, and those receptors that are linked to sense the volume of your food, they will send a signal to your brain that you are full. But then there is other kind of receptors in your gut and in your stomach and all along your digestive system that sends your brain information about the actual nutrients. So the calories, the fats, the carbohydrates, the proteins, depending on where that particular food or that nutrient is extracted. So those receptors sense the nutrition, and they also send the signal to your brain, that information about what kind of nutrients we just got, and then your brain makes a decision whether keep you hungry or tell you to stop eating. And the best scenario is when your food has volume, being whole food, providing adequate amount of calories and adequate amount of nutrients that your body needs. So in that scenario, your food is digested slowly enough for your digestive system to bring signal to your brain just in time to tell you to stop eating when you really had enough. So as you can see, this whole digestion is a very complicated process, and that's why it is important to eat whole foods, because those foods are designed perfectly, because they are also a product of nature, just like human body is. We evolved eating that kind of foods, not processed foods. So those kind of foods, whole foods full of nutrients and volume, they give the signal you need for your brain to understand when to stop eating. And when we process foods, that doesn't happen. Your brain doesn't send you the signal in time to tell you to stop eating, because it doesn't get that signal in time. So the point I'm making here, combine vegetables and greens with a lot of volume, with a lot of fiber, with a lot of water, with more calorie and nutrient dense foods, but still whole foods like your fatty proteins, maybe some fats. If you need to, like, for example, I myself add some fatty foods like maybe cod liver pate, or I might add some olive oil or coconut oil that are healthy foods, but they're processed foods. So I add them to add more calories, because in one meal it's hard to fit all the calories from whole foods. It just, like, my stomach has limits in size. But in your case, if you want to eat less calories per meal, then you should stick to whole foods, whole natural foods as much as possible. And even healthy processed foods like olive oil, for example, you probably should be eating olives, because that gives you water, that gives you fiber, that gives you volume, not just fats and nutrient and this sort of nutrients. So to sum up this little piece about digestion, eat slowly, eat whole foods, mostly combine vegetables with your fatty protein, and eat as much whole foods as possible to give a proper satiety signal to your brain in time, and to also make your digestion work the best, absorbing most amount of nutrients. So start your digestion in your mouth by mechanically breaking down your foods in small enough pieces, and then slowly move them by swallowing to the rest of your digestive system to absorb the all the nutrition. And then on the actual meals, composition of your meals. Best practice, guys, your main meal by volume, and when you look at your plate, you should see most of the volume, most of the space is occupied by vegetables. Now, I'm not suggesting you should stick to vegetables only, but most of the volume should be occupied, most of the space on your plate should be occupied by vegetables. Just because vegetables, greens, they have more water, they have more fiber and much less calories, but that's what you need. They also have a lot of micronutrients like vitamins, minerals, different phytochemicals. So most of your plate should be occupied by vegetables, and then you eat sufficient amount of fatty protein. The best protein, guys, are not the leanest protein. No. Instead of chicken breast, for example, go for chicken liver, go for chicken thigh. So you want to get more nutrients, you want to get more fat, not more protein. All of you are getting more protein than enough. Like if you're in a country like US or anywhere in Europe, if you eating enough calories, you're probably getting more than enough protein. So don't think too much about getting enough protein, but think about getting other nutrients that organ meats are full of, that other parts of the animal besides muscle are full of. Also, fats have really essential nutrition for human health. So you need to be eating healthy fats from, again, from organ meats, from fattier parts of the animal. An interesting fact also, guys, did you know that most cultures, most traditional societies always valued organ meats and fattier meats more than muscle meat? Muscle meat was always a meat for hard times when there was not a lot of food available, not a lot of other animal parts available. And it's still the same in most societies who still have close to traditional lifestyle and traditional diet. So when we think about fattier parts of the animal, organ meats should be pretty simple to identify for you, like livers, like hearts, like gizzards, bone meat, fatty, I don't know, fatty cuts, all of the organs. Like what is not meat usually is an organ of an animal or something like that. But then, for example, these days, instead of buying salmon steak, I'm buying salmon belly. That is fattier. And in Japan, for example, the best sushi or sashimi are still considered to be the ones that are made from fattier parts of tuna, for example. So tuna belly, not tuna flesh. So the more fat, the better from a healthy animal, of course. And that's what you want to do too. You want to get fattier cuts of meats, the fattier organs, also organ meats. You want to get the fattier parts. How was I going to say that? I hope you understand. If you do not, then reach out and ask my advice on choosing the fattier cuts. So again, chicken breast or lean beef steak is not something really to thrive for. Fattier cuts are much better. And then a lot of vegetables, and cook with maybe some olive oil or coconut oil. If weight loss is an issue, you might skip that for whole olives or half an avocado to add additional fats into your meals, because fat is where your body gets energy when you're doing low carb diet. You cannot survive on protein and vegetables. You're gonna starve yourself. And that's about it. Those are the best eating practices. And when it comes to carbohydrates, guys, more and more data is coming out that you should manage your carbohydrates and stop eating bread and grains and potatoes all the time. Did you know, by the way, that most of the starchy or carbohydrate-rich foods, they actually really rich in calories and sugars, but compared to, let's say, vegetables or fattier cuts of meats or organ meats, they're really poor in nutrition. Like they give you a lot of calories, but that's about it. Fiber for grains or starchy vegetables, yes, but most of the stuff that they give you is sugar, calories, and at the end of the day, blood sugar spikes. So really consider going low carb if you're not yet. So that's it, guys. This was the episode about the best eating practices and the composition of your meal, except for the bulk being vegetables and eating fattier cuts of meats and organ meats. The composition of your meal, I leave to you to decide what kind of macronutrients of foods you decide to include. But again, remember, concentrate and focus on vegetables as being your main part of the meal by volume. Also, that helps your body to get appropriate satiety signals in time and tell you to stop eat. But besides that, to recap, fast for 14 hours and build up to that. Have discipline around your meals. Have fewer meals at certain times, not snacking all the time. Grazing is not good for you, not for your health, not for your digestive system, not for your metabolic health, not for your weight, not for anything really. Eat early, at least 2 hours before bed. Breathe to switch your body into rest and digest mode before each meal. 3 to 6 deep breath, closing your eyes also helps a lot. It slowly make kind of like mush in your mouth out of your food. And eat whole foods as much as possible, because that's how we evolved. That's what works best for our body. So that's it for today, guys. I'm off to shooting another episode for Food School podcast, or Food School, for Food School Healthy Eating 101 course. Have an awesome day. If you have any questions about best eating practices, always feel free to reach out and start practicing what you've just learned today. And as usual, till next time, till tomorrow, eat better daily.